This is Armed American Radio's Daily Defense.
Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, because they don't want me to. That's why I do it.
From the CZ Studios,
They're never going to stop us here.
here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense begins right now in the Patriot Mobile Communication and Command Center studios. Mark Walter on the mic, Patriot Mobile microphone at the CZ Studios. Welcome in. Greg in Dallas, Texas. How you doing today, my brother down in Texas?
Oh, not too bad. Here we are, pre-trash day over at my ranch.
Post-trash day at my ranch, at the Patriot Mobile Ranch. And we had one of those instances where the garbage truck left garbage all over the street the other day. And they don't even bother to pick it up.
No, they don't.
They used to have, remember the old days when guys were hanging off the side of the garbage trucks and they were cruising down the road?
We still have that.
You do, really?
Yep.
That must be a Texas thing.
It depends. Depends on what county you're in and what service you have. I know in Dallas County we had the machine or the trash truck that had the machine that reached out and grabbed them and slammed them in the back and then slammed them down on the ground.
You know, I got to, my garbage man, he's cool. Do we call him a garbage man anymore, or is that politically incorrect?
He's a sanitation worker.
Sanitation worker, how dare I?
Yeah.
Garbage man. I like garbage man better because that works. He's a man and he picks up my garbage. He's a garbage man.
Well,
Nothing wrong with that.
There's that.
Guys earning a good living. And they've got the cameras everywhere in the trucks now, so they got the arms that pick up the things, right, and dump them over the top. So I don't know how you mess everything up. How does that, because then that bin tips over and then they run the thing. And, I goes up there and watching a guy because the guy's cool. He'll help me if I got a lot of big stuff. He'll help me get it out and bring it out to him, boxes and things of that nature. And, I saw the cameras. They've got high-definition cameras on the back of those things. He can watch them. He don't even have to get out of the truck unless you got stuff that you need his help with, and he's kind enough to do it. But, it's like a lot of technology in garbage trucks now. I don't know why we're talking about that. Maybe because Lee's not on the phone and we screwed up the schedule, and Scott Coburn from Patriot's going to be here at 3:30, and we have some time to kill. So garbage conversations are pretty cool, right?
For some people, yeah.
You brought it up. If you're a garbage man, sanitation worker listening to the show, or woman, welcome in. It's great to be here with you. It's the day after garbage day here and the pre-garbage day in Greg. By the way, you're sending us some nice weather.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's about time. And I don't know if you knew this, but the time change is this weekend.
Oh, is it this weekend? I was thinking we had another week or so.
No, 2 a.m. on the 8th, which is Sunday, 2 a.m.
Oh, wow. Wow. It comes earlier every year, it seems, and this is precisely why the government got away with 2 weeks to flatten the curve, because they've been controlling our time for decades now.
Yeah.
Because we comply with it. Why do we comply with this? Like Arizona doesn't, Hawaii doesn't. Why do we comply with this?
I guess the way to do that is if everybody just kept their own watches and clocks set and ignored the government, they would eventually have to catch on and get with us, right?
Unfortunately, the phones automatically change. So you got to have a wristwatch that doesn't change.
Okay. So real men wear real watches anyway.
Yeah, until your battery goes dead, which looks like mine is actually.
No, you do the automatics like I do, man. You just shake your wrist or you wind it, and that's a real man's watch. Every man should have a nice pair of shoes, one suit at least, really nice suit, and a nice watch. That's just my deal. And Apple watches and stuff like that, no.
Is this our courtroom attire or funeral attire?
This is manly attire, bro. It's just kind of what it is. Guys, as you can tell, we got nothing for you. So
all right, we'll see you later.
We're just waiting for some phone calls. We're live with you on Facebook.com/Armed American Radio. Please follow us over there. If you don't, join the 80,000 others that do. Greg, I'll let you do we are back up on Rumble, so we're on rumble.com/Armed American Radio. Greg, I'll let you do your thing, and we'll go from there. How about that?
Yeah, it works for me. Other places to watch the show are going to be YouTube. Just do a search for Armed American Radio with Mark Walters. You can watch us on X over at AAR Mark. You can also head on over to the website, which is armedamericanradio.org or .com. Hit that menu icon, then select your watch live or listen live option. And lastly, if you'd like to join our live chat, all you have to do is just download Telegram, create your profile, and search for Armed American Radio Conversations.
Kristi Noem is out.
She is.
Media likes to say she was fired. I'm not sure if that's really the case because she's moved to another department by Trump. So, is that being fired?
You're fired. Get out of here.
Well, usually if you're fired, it's get out of here. You're fired because you're not doing a good job, and I don't want you around. Not, I want to move you from here to here.
Well, I'm seeing
So
that
I guess
they're
that's
saying
nuance, but
they're saying leadership failures and a couple other things.
but
And,
who's they? Media?
yeah, it's what I'm seeing on Fox. So, it is what it is. That's who we have on.
So
around
let's
here.
go to Fox because, well, I'm there now. But Kristi Noem ousted from Homeland Security post amid recent turmoil. Trump reportedly furious with Noem's performance in congressional hearings this week over controversial ad contract. Now, I saw part of those hearings. I did not see that part. So I would have to defer to what I'm looking at right now. You didn't catch that either? You didn't hear any of the other Salem hosts are talking about that?
Not that I've heard discussed. The Kristi Noem thing is really new, and so nobody has really covered too much on that currently. Let's see. Scott Jennings was covering it at the end of his second hour, and then we rolled right into Hugh Hewitt, and I have no idea if he has covered it or not.
Yeah, it said Trump announced on Truth Social that he will nominate Senator Markwin Mullen, Republican, Oklahoma, to replace Noem effective March 31st. The current secretary, according to Trump, Kristi Noem, who has served us well and has had numerous and spectacular results, especially on the border, will be moving to Special Envoy for the Shield of the Americas, our new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere. We are announcing on Saturday in Doral, Florida. I thank Kristi for her service at Homeland. And in her first statement following that departure, she thanked Trump for her upcoming appointment. So, is that fired? I have sadly had to fire people before. I didn't fire them and then say, oh, while we're at it, I'm firing you from there, but let's move you over here. I would say we're going to offer you another position. I don't know that that's fired. I do know one thing. I'd rather look at Kristi Noem in a press conference and at hearings than Senator Markwin Mullen from Oklahoma. I'm sure others feel differently, and not that there's anything wrong with that.
I agree with you. I'd rather look at Kristi, but I think that the more appropriate person for DHS is probably Mark Wayne.
Yeah, well, as we say down south, we're fit and find out, right?
Yeah, we about to find out.
We about to find out. Pete Hegseth, Marco Rubio, they're good. There's no shakeup, and if you consider the midterms here, there's a reason that this is happening right now because he's going to have to move a nomination through the Senate right now, and well, you just don't know what's going to happen between now and the end of the year. So if you're going to make these changes,
Mark Wayne most likely eligible to pass through the nomination process versus probably someone else that's outside of the administration currently.
Yeah. Now, I have to ask if you saw, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you saw this, and I wish I could convey this on radio. I could on the video screen, but I'm not going to do that. But I should because it's way cool. Did you happen to see the Iranian ship get blown up by the first torpedo fired since World War II?
Yeah, pushed it up out of the water.
Let's just say that's not your grandpa's World War II torpedo that this country
Probably
is
not.
now using out of its submarine. Oh, my gosh. That hit the starboard side of the bow of that ship and literally pulled the entire front half of that boat to midship, lifted it entirely out of the water, and destroyed it.
Well, you got to think about it's a projectile object that is flying through the water at God knows how many knots, and then has an explosive containment or component to it. So explosions go up and out. So where else is that boat going to go?
I don't know. I just remember looking at World War II footage, and I do not remember seeing that happen. These things don't miss. They're fly-by-wire, and if the wire doesn't work, they fly by their own guidance systems underwater. This thing is 3,772 pounds with 670 pounds of explosives on it, 650 to 670 pounds of explosives on that. I believe it's a 9th-generation version of it. You don't want to be on a ship that thing's docked. No. Particularly anywhere near where it hits. I mean, that was absolutely incredible, and I believe it's an MK-48 or an MK-84. Is that what the torpedo was called? Do you recall?
I've got no idea on any of the dynamics of torpedo models.
MK-48 torpedo, and been around since the 1960s. But let's just say there has been some modifications to it.
30.
They call it quiet death. And AOL, I didn't even know AOL was still around.
Yeah, they still do things here and there. Some people still have emails.
Yeah, I know some people that have AOL addresses, which I guess don't feel necessary to change, right?
Okay.
Single Mk-48 torpedo has put renewed focus on the U.S. Navy's primary undersea weapon. A heavyweight torpedo had first entered operational service in 1972 and has been steadily upgraded for modern naval warfare. That's marked the first time since World War II that a U.S. submarine used a torpedo to sink an enemy ship. And, well,
20.
sink it did in spectacularly wonderful success. I guess maybe the Democrats are mad at that. I guess they don't even know who they're supporting now. We'll be right back. Check. We got an audio on there. That's good.
The
The following segment of Armed American Radio is proudly being brought to you by the National Rifle Association. Help us defend freedom by visiting nra.org/AAR and join today. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the show indeed. Mark Walters filling your prescription for freedom on a lazy Thursday here today. And we will be getting a call from Scott Coburn from Patriot Mobile, patriotmobile.com/AAR. We'll talk with Scott about what happened in Texas, not just the attack in Austin, but also some of the results of the primary elections that were held. And, well, we apparently missed a call from Lee, and that was my fault, so let me apologize to Lee and to you, ladies and gentlemen, who heard that we were going to have Lee on the program. We got our times messed up on that. And, well, sometimes that happens, Greg. Sometimes that happens. But you're in the CZ studios with me. We're filling your prescription for freedom today and every day in front of this Patriot Mobile mic. Have you joined the National Rifle Association yet? We need you to do that. NRA.org/AAR, NRA.org/AAR. Take advantage of the discounts over there. More to come on that. And don't forget Pot of Gold auctions. Now, Walk the Talk America, part of the reason, well, a main reason that we're working with Pot of Gold auctions is because they are running auctions on behalf of Walk the Talk America, WTTA. And those auctions benefit the great work that they do in preventing suicides, particularly suicides by firearm. That's suicides in general, but that's, a main focus of WTTA. As a result of that, these auctions, every single dollar in these auctions goes to support that endeavor. And we need you to participate in this. There's some really cool stuff over there. There's a couple guns up for auction right now. You can visit Pot of Gold, POGauctions.com. And I'll put a screenshot of that up later in the program or tomorrow when I know I have the right one up for you. I don't want to mislead you on that if you're watching on your devices. Greg, welcome back, brother. So I was looking at some information on that torpedo during the break, and all I can say is, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And Greg was commenting about, he said he wished there was a video of it sinking. I've seen the video of it getting hit. I haven't seen the full video. I'm sure it's out there, but there are some still photos of that thing pulling a Titanic maneuver with the stern just straight up and down as it's on its way to the bottom. And wow, when Trump makes comments like the firepower we have is just incredible, this is what he's talking about. And this, I guess there's a 9th version of this prototype of this thing now, but it is a massive beast. And I see some comments in here from Brandon. Brandon Waiter. It says, they explode under the ship. Boy, it sure did. And he said, trash day, is that the day you take the trash out or the day it gets picked up? Well, that's a great question, Greg. I usually take trash out the day of. They used to come super early. What time does yours come? I'm just curious.
It varies, but typically in the afternoon.
Yeah, with school buses and everything, they tend to do that around here anymore when school's in. Later in the summer, stuff like that, I think they come super early. So to answer your question on that one, Brandon, interesting question. Over the summer, we'll start putting it out the night before or have to get up super early on the day off to put it out, or in the morning, I should say. It's not a day off.
I'm usually a night before.
Night before?
Yeah.
Yeah, we only get one pickup here. In Florida, we used to get 2. We used to get them on Wednesdays and Fridays, and I thought that was kind of weird.
We get 2.
You do?
Yep, Tuesday, Friday.
Yeah, well, the way they do it here, Waste Management, they do it once a week, and then there's one bin is not enough.
I'm pretty sure
they're more than happy to lease you another bin. Let me put it that way.
I'm pretty sure that just depends on who the management company is, whether it's Waste Management or one of the others. I'm currently with an other, but I was with Waste Management when I was in Dallas County, and that was a Thursday pickup, and that was it.
Go back to the old movie, was it Rodney Dangerfield? He was talking about construction and stuff like that, but I can use it for garbage as well. I don't need to remind you who runs that business, but I can assure you it ain't the Boy Scouts, right? Remember that? You remember that?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go over to some left-wing news here. I like to go to Drudge Report from time to time, and it's a really good place. He's such a sellout, but you get a really good indication of the way the left is approaching hot-button issues. So let's do this in real time. Iran's new Ayatollah vows to shed Trump's blood in televised address. Well, let me tell you how long that is going to play out. That's not going to age well for him because he's not going to be in existence probably in the next 48 hours. And then how would you like to be in succession for that? Would you like to be in the lineup for that job right now?
No, and it's one of those things of I would have my mouth would be very shut right now because I could be the next guy that gets blown to smithereens.
CIA and Mossad have plants inside the Iranian government. And if this cat thinks that by running his gator he's doing himself any favors or his family, he is, quote unquote, dead wrong, because he will get hit. Hormuz death trap. Conflict spreads as drones hit Azerbaijan. Europeans send warships to Cyprus. IDF surprised by Houthis not joining war. Now, we talked about this during the break. I found this fascinating. You saw the 3 F-15 Strike Eagles that were shot down by quote-unquote friendly fire over Kuwait?
I did.
That was one Kuwaiti pilot that took out 3 American F-15 Strike Eagles. Do you want to explain how that happens?
I've got no clue, but that is pretty amazing.
What does that make the Kuwaiti pilot?
Pretty amazing.
Somebody should be recruiting that guy.
He should be working for us.
Well, kind of technically, he probably is. You know, I'll attribute that to the fog of war, right? That's the fog of war. But I got to hand it to that guy.
Yeah.
If you can defeat, I mean, does that make him an ace, even though they were friendly?
I can guarantee you there are guys back in his barracks that are giving him high fives for the job well done, even though they may be like, oh, God, that was Americans, though.
Yeah, all the pilots survived. And,
Still.
okay, that's all good. But, yeah, that's why I'm saying this. It's good that the pilot survived, which is remarkable in and of itself. I don't know how you survive a missile attack. I don't know how that works, okay? But I'm still fascinated by guys that wrote books like Robert Leckie and the rest of these guys that wrote books about World War II and the battles in the Pacific with what had to have been likely trillions of bullets flying around them for years in vicious fighting, and several never got hit. And how does that work? I don't know. That's divine intervention as far as I'm concerned. It's just not your time. And a lot of those guys felt very guilty about that. But, yeah, when I saw that story about that, the F-15s, I thought, okay, how does that work? And what does that make the Kuwaiti pilot besides a stud? I mean, if this guy's capable of taking out, now he's flying U.S. aircraft, there's no question about it.
So that helps.
That doesn't hurt. You know, I'm sure he's not flying a, old 1960s MiG, whatever it is.
Yeah, probably old Russian technology that the Kuwaitis bought back in the day.
Well, that's what the Iranians have, and that's why they couldn't even get off the ground. But nonetheless, I found that fascinating. Maybe it was what?
Maybe they buy Chinese technology.
I don't know. Boots on the ground. Kurds prep invasion. Americans stranded in war zone. Oil $80. Tanker attacked. Screaming panic inside White House. Putin energy squeeze. Wiles sounds alarm on gas prices. The humiliation of Vance. JD 2.0 struggling. Republicans, racist group chant Nazi heaven inside Miami campus. I mean, guys, if you got your face in this stuff all day long, you will literally go out of your nut. You'll just go nuts, out of your mind, reading this stuff all day. So I would highly recommend that you stay away from it. When we come back from the break, Scott Coburn from Patriot Mobile is going to be here. I want to ask him about that, too. I'm curious to see what others think about that.
Funny.
We now know what Greg thinks about it, but that Kuwaiti pilot, cat's a stud, man. Good heavens. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense will begin at 34 minutes after the hour in segment number 3. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
The following segment of Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is being brought to you by Patriot Mobile. Visit patriotmobile.com/AAR and use the AAR promo code to get free activation today. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, welcome back to the show indeed. We're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants here today, ladies and gentlemen. We had a schedule screw up, and it was my fault. It was my fault. I crossed times with Lee Williams, the gun writer. And Greg got a call that dropped, and, you know, we're waiting for Scott to call back, and hopefully he's able to do that. If not, well, we're just going to keep going forward with you and power through the hour. We still have a lot of interesting stuff to talk with you about as we're having some fun today. We're talking about the torpedo that blew up the Iranian ship. We're talking about all the garbage going on at Drudge Report over there, and that Kuwaiti pilot that brought down those three F-15
He was flying by the
Strike
seat
Eagles.
of his pants.
Oh, he certainly was. What was the old Top Gun deal? You're just not going to be happy unless you're going 500 miles an hour with your hair on fire or something stupid like that.
Yep.
Which he certainly was. But I would love to be a fly in the debriefing room with that guy. You know people were slapping him high fives. You know they were.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, you shot down 3 Americans, but good heavens. No, how did you do that?
Yeah, well,
You know, that's just a testament to, well,
using
U.S.
their
weaponry.
equipment.
Well,
Yeah.
it's our weaponry, right? It's got to be. There's no question about it. Good heavens, that's amazing stuff. Whew. Austin shooting puts Islam at center of Tuesday's primaries in Texas. This was a couple days ago. And, Greg, I don't know how much truth there is to that headline. Austin shooting puts Islam at center of Tuesday's primaries in Texas. I think in Texas, Islam was already a large topic in the primaries. I'm sure that exacerbated the situation somewhat in Texas.
well, we had I forget what they're called, but we voted on banning Sharia law in one of our subjects on our votes on Tuesday. So that was, obviously forefront of our minds thinking about that. And obviously we have early voting here, so there's I don't know, about 3-4 weeks of, going to vote before the actual voting day, which would have been this past Tuesday. And it was definitely on our minds, and everybody, I think most of everybody that voted yes, unless you're Muslim in this state, which then you can move.
Yeah, well, that has always been the sentiment in Texas, I think.
Yeah.
Which is why that headline to me seemed a little strange.
It's also a lot of the frustration with Governor Abbott and a lot of his political donors, especially his largest political donor is a Pakistani Muslim guy that's in the oil industry, and he throws a lot of money at Abbott. And Abbott has allowed And I don't know if there's really an allowance that the governor does. A lot of people like to blame the governor for the preponderance of mosques that keep popping up, especially in DFW, but throughout the state. And we've also got this epic city out by Plano, which is in Collin County, north of Dallas, they are trying to build a solely Muslim community there. And the people want the governor to step in and to forbid such a construction project to happen, because it's a large swath of acreage and homes and their own little stores, their halal stores and all that garbage. And we're just not into it. It doesn't seem like a simulation to us. And all these,
It's not.
All these idiots are running around in hijabs and whatnot out there. And I mean, it just is, it's not Texas, it's not Texan, and it's definitely not American.
No, it's not, and it doesn't jive with Western culture and civilization and our values. And if that makes us politically incorrect, good.
Wah.
Because the truth doesn't suffer fools, and facts are just facts, ladies and gentlemen. We've said it for years. Facts are stubborn things. It just is what it is. You know, you go back in the day, my grandpa came from Italy. Came from the old world, right? The old country. Years ago, I still have a lot of relatives that a lot of my family who goes to Italy visits and stays with when they're overseas. But my grandpa came here and assimilated, and he came here the right way, as millions of immigrants did, and that's the way it needs to be done. And when you have Muslim call to prayers running throughout Dearborn, when you have huge swaths of people who are not assimilating, you have the Somali community, et cetera, that's a problem. And if you don't believe it's a problem, go to Minneapolis. I've got video and footage on my own phone from when I was there a number of years ago. And it was remarkable. I didn't even feel like I was in Minneapolis, Greg. It was really bizarre.
Yeah.
And that was years ago when we used to do the Gander Mountain events with that company. I'm going back probably 10 years. 8-10 years, and we saw it happening in real time. As I remember before, and I remember the after, and it's crazy. But yeah, I don't think Texas is going to take any crap. Right now, AAR Hawkins has a piece up. GOP is pushing to make Michigan the 30th constitutional carry state, and that's a group of House members in Michigan. This is going to be an uphill climb, I think, in Michigan. Right now, I'll quote from WWMT reporting that the push, if successful, would end the current requirement that law-abiding citizens apply for and receive concealed carry permits from their state government before being able to carry a handgun concealed on their persons for self-defense. GOP success on this front would also save would-be, and this is from AWR Hawkins, would-be concealed carriers from paying $100 for the permits issued by government. Now, it's interesting to me because I got a phone call today from Carrie-Anna Clare up in Massachusetts, who got snowed out of Massachusetts. How does that work? She was on vacation in Florida visiting her father a couple weeks back when the big snowstorm hit, and she couldn't get back for another week. So she said, well, I found out when I was sitting at the pool. I said, that's not a bad thing. But since she has been home, just yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. This is what life is like behind the blue wall. This is what Democrats have in store for you. I cannot imagine living this way. I had this conversation with her today, and it ended with, just move. Just get out. But she got a letter from the state police because she's a certified instructor for Massachusetts handgun permitting, Greg.
All right.
Seeking her, now because of a new law that went into effect, and forgive me for not knowing the date, I believe the date of the effect of this law is August, but the state police have reached out to every certified handgun instructor because they all have to be known by the state, right? So there's a list. You know, if you don't want to be on that list, don't put yourself out there as a certified instructor for permitting, but we're glad you do under the conditions. But seeking every instructor in Massachusetts to provide a new curriculum that has to meet the new law's guidelines, and they're not giving the instructors guidelines. They're asking the instructors to send them their new guidelines for their approval. This is a recipe for disaster. Do you know how many are going to be turned down and denied because, well, it doesn't meet our – that's what we're going to hear. And that's likely why they're doing it the way they're doing it. And we're going to have Carrie on the program. It won't be this week. It may be Sunday to talk a little bit about this because it's just a mess, Greg. I cannot imagine living under those conditions. This is a woman who was able to carry a gun openly, constitutionally, freely in the state of Florida on vacation and goes home to draconian commie restrictions. Now, me personally, that's a deal breaker for me. Greg, I couldn't do it.
No.
And the question came up in conversation, well, what do we do if we all leave? My response is, they've already kicked you out. They've already divorced you. Unfortunately for you, you are outgunned, pun intended. By that, I mean you're outnumbered. If every single one of you voted, is there enough of you to fix the problem? At this point in states like Massachusetts or Illinois or New Jersey. New Jersey's getting close, I think.
30.
Michigan's close. There's no question about that. I think the constitutional carry issue in Michigan is going to be a stretch. It's going to be an uphill climb, but I certainly would love to see it. We still don't have that vote in North Carolina yet. Michigan should be 31 if it happens. But then again, I've been proven wrong countless times, probably more so than I've been proven right. I remember telling people to leave Illinois. If you wanted to have a firearm, you carry a firearm, you're not going to be able to. And 2 years later, we were apologizing on the airwaves because they did pass, in fact, shall issue, part of other negotiations. But nonetheless, good heavens. Whew. It's a mess. I couldn't live behind that blue wall. No, that's not going to happen. We'll talk about more fun stuff when we come back, cover a few more stories for you with the final segment of the program. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense continues on a post-Garbage Day edition here on a Thursday at the Patriot Mobile Ranch. We'll be back right after this.
This segment is brought to you by Attorneys on Retainer. Get the only self-defense program for gun owners backed by a real law firm, the Attorneys for Freedom. Visit them online at attorneysonretainer.us. Welcome back.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. There's my Attorneys on Retainer card. Can you see it? Yes, you can if you're watching. If not, just trust that I'm holding it up. It's about the size of a credit card. It resides in my wallet every day, everywhere I go, because I have attorneys literally in my back pocket. And I carry a gun everywhere I go. There are 3 guns around me right now and a rifle over there. And I have this card in my wallet at all times. You should too. attorneysonretainer.us/AAR. You already know bad things can happen. That's why you carry a gun. And when they happen just like that. And what you want to be able to do is call your attorney just like that. Not have to scramble to find one while you're sitting in a police station somewhere or being interrogated during an investigation, at which point you just need to take some good advice, and that is shut your trap and say nothing until you can talk to your attorney. And if you have attorneys on retainer, it's instant. They'll be on the scene during the investigation immediately. And they will guide you, and they will keep you out of trouble, and hopefully keep you from even being charged. But if you do get charged and you do not have an attorney, that's coming out of your own pocket. And it is going to cost you an arm and a leg. Don't be that person that went, God, I've been hearing him talk about that for a year and a half. I've been thinking about it and I haven't done it. Just do it. It's $37 a month. No more. Not for any investigations, not for any forensics, not for expert witnesses, nothing. And that stuff adds up to tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars because people do not do this for free. attorneysonretainer.us/AAR. Greg, ask me how many cups of blackout coffee I had this morning.
Mark, how many cups of blackout coffee did you have this morning?
None, because I'm a loser.
Yeah, you are.
And that's because I have a cup of coffee right here. I'm holding it up. It is not blackout because my blackout coffee will be here it's probably here by now. But I'm drinking, and this is horrible. And I had a conversation with Jared Yanis about this morning that was hilarious from Guns and Gadgets and also a principal at Blackout Coffee. I said, dude, I'm drinking Nescafe instant coffee.
Oh.
And you know what I did? Guys, I'm going to hold this cup up. This is one of those metal, like a Yeti cup. So to make instant coffee, what do? Right? You boil water. Put a couple teaspoonfuls of coffee grounds in there, whatever you want to put in your coffee. Thank God my wife was in the room because I took this metal cup and filled it with water and stuck it in the microwave and turned it on. She goes, don't do that. And I pulled it out. I went, ooh, thanks for catching that. Although it would have been kind of cool to see the thing sparking like crazy, but I got it out fast enough, so I put it back in another cup, made it, and then put it back in this cup here. But so I got a hold of Jared this morning, and I said, dude, I need that coffee. He goes, we sell instant coffee, too, for if you ever run out. I said, I never said I was the brightest bulb in the knife drawer. Thanks for that. So I've put my order in for the instant coffee as well, because I'm going to tell you, this Nescafe stuff, no. Blackoutcoffee.com/AAR. I've gotten accustomed to that stuff. It's good, strong, rich coffee. And they do have, if you like the extra caffeinated stuff, they do have it over there. Me? No, I don't need that. I'd rather just drink 1 or 2 cups, maybe 3 cups. Paced. I don't want to drink 1 cup that's going to send me off the edge of a cliff. You know what I mean, Greg? That's just not good for me anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
No, not going to happen. Okay. Now, where are we? Scott is not going to be here today, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see if we can bring him back in tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll reschedule that.
The scheduling hassle was mine. So anyway, Michigan is looking at becoming the 30th state. I hope that happens. I don't know how I feel about that yet. I'm just not sure.
I just don't know if the Big Gretch will sign that.
Well, she won't unless she gets conned into something else. As part of something else that she has to sign. I don't know how this is going to be, but this is going to be an uphill climb. No question. AWR is also reporting about a shooting in Cincinnati, a couple days ago. I don't know if you heard about this one.
That was shocking.
Yeah. I was born in Cincinnati, left the hospital and never looked back and never went back there. But I have a lot of family from that area. And I've been through some parts of Cincinnati traveling back and forth that are just, let's just say not areas I'd want to be. And some of the areas surrounding UC are like that. My wife went to UC. My dad went to UC. His dad went to UC. I've got tons of relatives. My niece went to UC, just got a degree from there a 3 years ago. But apparently 2 alleged shooters who are now under arrest in connection with Sunday morning shooting in Cincinnati. Get this. And here's the beauty of your failed gun control, ladies and gentlemen. They're both already suspects. Both suspects have already been barred for gun possession for life due to prior felony criminal convictions. So I don't know if the reporting on this is accurate. How can that possibly be? They're already banned from owning guns. How could they possibly have guns? I'll have to check with AWR and see if he needs to retract something here. These are felons. They're banned from owning guns. How could they possibly do this? How could they commit this act if they're already banned from owning guns? Greg, any idea how that could work?
No idea at all.
Interesting. It was at the Riverfront Live music venue just before 1 a.m. Sunday. What's the old adage? Nothing good happens after midnight, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, I used to tell my kids when they're coming home from work at midnight to be extra special careful because there's a strong possibility that, well, a large percentage of people on the road are hammered, okay, particularly over holiday weekends.
Mm-hmm.
But Franique Cobb and 29-year-old Derek Long were both charged in connection with the shooting, and that's according to Fox 9. They were identified via a review of surveillance footage from Riverfront Live, and they're now federally charged with illegally possessing a firearm or ammunition as a convicted felon. So I'm shocked that convicted felons wouldn't follow the law after being convicted of their first round of felonies. Oh, that's right. Wait a minute. Hold on. We talk about felons who have felon rap sheets longer than our limbs. And why are they walking around? I guess there's that too, right? Also, I watched some of the hearings, the court case of the father, the Appalachia High School shooter, who was, by the way, convicted a couple days ago on 27 charges for giving his kid the gun in Georgia.
Wow.
27 charges as the father. And it's a mixed bag with me, I'm going to be honest with you. The father wasn't there.
He didn't pull the trigger.
No, he did not. It was a gift. He gave his son a Christmas gift. Knowingly allowing his son to possess it. The kid was 14 at the time the shooting was carried out. Now, here's where parents get themselves in trouble all the time with the final 30 seconds we have. And we saw this with Adam Lanza in Connecticut, where the mom's got a troubled kid and tries to find some type of activity that will bond the parent to the child. And in the case of Adam Lanza, and apparently this case, it was shooting. That didn't turn out well. And then sadly, there's always going to be a fall person here, and it's likely going to be the parent, and that's what happened here. And I'm sure this guy made a lot of mistakes. The jury only was out for 2 hours, and he was convicted on all 27 charges. So he is likely not going to see outside of a prison cell for a very, well, you know.
It was the dad or the kid?
The dad. Oh, the kid's done, you know.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, so was the father. So now you have not only murdered people, their families, everybody's lives are upended because of what? Stupid decisions. People, don't make stupid decisions. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, guys. We're going to get up and do it again tomorrow. Paul Markle, student of the gun. We'll see if we can bring Scott Coburn from Patriot back. Wanted to talk with him a little bit about Texas, but we'll save that for another day. Tomorrow is a Friday, Greg's favorite day of the week. As I said, we're going to get up and do it again tomorrow. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. I'll see each and every one of you on the radio.
You just filled your prescription for freedom on Armed American Radio with Mark Walters, the loudest voice in America fighting for gun rights.
Yeah, guys, this coffee sucks, to be honest with you. But it is coffee, you know? In a pinch, you take what you can get, I guess. And but I don't know how this stuff can grow on me. It ain't blackout, that's for damn sure. All right, guys. Schedule screw up was mine today. Times. That might happen again on Sunday with the time change. You never know, particularly with some of our guests that are coming from the West Coast, or I should say Arizona, where they don't change times. They go from 2 hours behind us to 3 hours behind us, and that's by our fault, not their fault, because we change times. They don't. But anyway, we'll see you on the radio on Sunday. We'll see you on the radio tomorrow as well. Scheduled lineup is out, as always, is Paul Markle, student of the gun. So stay safe out there, guys. Don't make stupid decisions, please. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. Visit all of our partners on AmericanRadio.com. Pick up attorneys on retainer. Get this in your wallet, guys. Don't be stupid. Join the NRA. Pick up some Blackout coffee. Shop over at Crossbreed and all of our great partners. BuzzGunShop.com, BuzzGunShop.com, and support the businesses that support Armed American Radio. We appreciate you being here. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. See you on the radio tomorrow, guys.